Welcome to another episode of NBA Central. In today's episode, me and Steve, we're going to talk about the Phoenix Suns and what their future looks like if they have to move on from Chris Paul. We're also going to take a look at the top three teams in each conference and what their realistic chances are to win the title. We're going to get into all that and more right after this.
The number one place for your daily basketball fix, NBA Central, hosted by the one and only CEO Haize.
Young Stevo in the building, bro. What's going
Yo,
on?
yo.
Glad to have you in here, fam.
What's good, y'all? What's going on?
Man, so we about to talk about these Phoenix Suns, man. Despite them playing pretty solidly last night, shout out to the Suns for being able to sneak out a win on that one. They're 6-4 over their last 10, but one thing has been very evident over the course of the season is that Chris Paul is on his way out, bro. Like they are time managing him. It came out yesterday that he had to ask the coach to play the final 3 minutes, but they're trying to do everything they can. Yeah, bro. Like I don't know if you got to see that quote. Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Give me 1 second.
I did not see that. Wow.
So it came out. This is what it said. This is from Monty Williams. End of the third, I was going to take him out with 3 minutes, and he said, "Coach, can I finish?" Go ahead. He ran off a few more buckets. Good to see him get his legs back. We're going to try our best to keep him fresh as we can. So they're definitely trying to keep Chris Paul fresh. But the writing's on the wall that at some point soon, they're going to have to figure out their future without Chris Paul. And they already started. They've been winning games without them. Devin Booker's out right now, things like that. But like, Steve, I'm going to throw it to you, man. What do you think this team is going to do without Chris Paul? Because it's wrapping up for him, bro. Great career, but it's wrapping up.
If you look at it, I believe they starting to like really sit down and actually think about the future because Jay Crowder has been in the trade topics. They also been throwing it out. And we haven't been talking about the loss of Cam Johnson. So the fact that Cam Johnson is gone is going to take
he played last night.
He did?
Yeah, Cam Johnson's back.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Well, we're not going to expect that Cam Johnson we've been getting, but it's going to take a minute to come back. But I feel like they're slowly starting to go away from the older win now situation because, as you know, they got their superstar. They know Devin Booker's the superstar. Mm-hmm. Cam Johnson is a young, expiring, not rookie, but young player going up. Mikal Bridges doesn't miss a game, so young player. So I think they're trying to move towards moving on and everything, but who knows? They might go for a final. Depending on if they can get Jay Crowder to a good deal. That would determine if they're going to go for completely blow it up or just retool or just try to win. But the fact that he's trying to play and they still saying the nice words to do so, but they might be trying to win, but I don't think so.
I mean, the thing is, they still got 2 more years left with Chris Paul's contract. He's getting paid $30 million a year for the next 2 years until he's a free agent. And I look at this team like this is a team that has a lot of the core of this team is still pretty young. You look at Booker. You already said Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, who did score 14 points last night and started. So, as they work him back in, DeAndre Ayton, whatever they decide to do with him, even if they do decide to move on from him, you think they're going to get some nice pieces back. So if they do decide to retool, they have more than a nice foundation to do so. They just aren't going to be a title contender. So I'm looking at this team and saying, why you still got Chris Paul for 2 years under contract? And I don't know if any team's going to take that when he got to ask to play the last 3 minutes of a quarter. This is your time to try to make your move for a young point guard. And I look at a team like the Orlando Magic, got a lot of young point guards there. Do they do something there in the DeAndre Ayton trade? Do they try to get another big back? Yeah, so there's a lot of things out there, and the Phoenix Suns very well could also try to maybe get a steal in the draft, lower down the draft, or maybe move up if they decide to move Ayton. It's 2 big questions with this team, and that is the future of Chris Paul and what you're going to do there, but also DeAndre Ayton. And I think the answer to the DeAndre Ayton issue may bring in the future of your point guard if you play your cards right. So
right, especially like that. I'm glad you said that because if you look at it that way, like you said. You got 2 years left, but the man is 37 years old.
Yeah.
Him doing what he did at 35 or 36 is already crazy. So, you shouldn't even expected that. So, the fact that he got it was, okay, you should have capitalized on it. You got to the finals. It didn't work out. So I feel like looking at the Aiden situation, you got to really sit down with your GM, sit down with your ownership, sit down with your team. Is this somewhere he really wants to be? Is it clashing? Are we clashing as a team? Or like you got to look at those type of things. And if you play your cards right, it's a ton of teams that want Aiden. It's a ton of teams that will want Aiden. And even like I feel like they could get something for Chris Paul. Like you always have that one team that's ready to win. That would do anything to get that player they want.
Yeah.
So just throwing it out there, not saying it's smart or anything, but let's say the Lakers wanted them. They could go get them if they wanted to, or if they was in the right position to. Teams like that. But besides that, I would really sit down, have an honest conversation, and think about retooling. Because if you're not careful, you're gonna end up rebuilding. That's the main part you want to look at.
Yeah, that's a great point. And you want to keep on. Devin Booker's in his prime. And the one thing that Booker has learned in his time with Chris Paul, he's learned how to win. And Devin Booker's developed that killer instinct. And so, like, really, the Phoenix Suns aren't in a bad position. They're not like in a position like our team, right? Where we're like, what the hell are we doing?
Had to bring them up, man. You just had to bring them up.
But yes, I mean the Phoenix Suns is not as bad. I mean, hell, Chris Paul did just drop 30 last night on the Spurs, so he still got it. You just got to keep him fresh and make sure that he's going to be there. Yeah, I mean it is the Spurs. They a 14-win team. So, that brings us to I want to have this conversation, man, about the top teams because as we know, parity in the NBA is at an all-time high right now. I want to look at the top 3 teams in Eastern Conference. Let's play buy or sell their chances to win a title. We're going to start off in the Western Conferences. That's where we are talking about the Suns. The number 3 team right now in the West, the Sacramento Kings, at 27-21 on the season, which is crazy. The Kings are actually, when they lighten that beam a lot over there in Sacramento this season, I know their fans are excited, man. And they're having one of the most efficient offensive seasons in NBA history, which is crazy. The Domantas Sabonis trade worked out for them. I remember people thought they got robbed in that trade. It seemed to work out for them.
They sure
What do you do? You buying or selling the Sacramento Kings' chances at winning a title this season?
I was about to say winning the title. I'm not buying. I'm not buying just yet. It's too early. Yeah. I will say I'm selling for playoffs for sure, but buying I'm not because you know what? I don't know because I feel like the fact that they got Mike Brown is not talked about enough, and Mike Brown has been with a lot of good teams, championship teams. So like and we're having a somebody like Sabonis and Fox. Man, Fox being the oldest player to not make the playoffs.
Is that real?
I think I heard that before. I think crazy. I heard that like he's the oldest player not to make the playoffs. And Sabonis, does he have any playoff win or playoff experience?
He's made it to the playoffs with Indy, I believe. I may be wrong on that.
Yeah, but anyway, with that, I'm not buying. I'm not buying just yet. Maybe in a year or two, if we see a consistent, cohesive unit, maybe. But right now, it'd be a little premature to say I want to buy into a championship winning team.
Yeah, I shout out to them for having a top 3 team in their conference, even though it's not much separation in the West. But I got to see them win a playoff series before I'm willing to buy them winning the title. Like
facts.
So, like, let's see that. I you know what? Honestly, I'm not even buying them making it out the second round. And I know that may be crazy for as many wins as they have, bro. But
that's realistic.
It's still the Kings, bro. Like I'm really hesitant to buy. Like the fact that they were even talking about the Kings being a top 3 team in a conference is still. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. Much less
when you said that
title, bro.
When you said that, it's just like what?
That's
like
crazy.
the last time they was really. I don't want to be rude and be like 0-3 because that's when they. No,
that's probably about right, bro.
Like I was trying to give him the Boogie Cousins benefit of the doubt, but I don't even think he got him that far.
No, I don't even, bro. It's crazy how many because it's not like they haven't had some good players coming in throughout there. They're just a joke of a franchise, man, bro.
Dumpster fire for real.
Yeah, man. It's like they everything they try to do right, they ends up going wrong. But hey, they're getting a lot right this season so far. Let's move on to the next team. Yeah, 27 wins. The Memphis Grizzlies, 31-18 right now in the season. We know they got Ja Morant. Jared Jackson is one of the his plus minuses and advanced analytics defensively when he's on the court is bananas, bro.
It's crazy.
Yeah, they calling him the block panther now, which is wild because he's definitely blocking a lot of shots. Yeah. Desmond Bain and the way that he grew the season. I just like this roster overall. You know, the Memphis Grizzlies are one of my favorite teams other than the Bulls to watch. You buying or selling their chances to win a title this season?
I ain't bad yet. I'm not bad yet. I'm with you. They besides the Bulls, they must see TV. I can't put my phone down. I gotta watch it. It's on some screen. But I actually got something to say about these dudes, man. They talking way
too much, bro. Like,
they talking way too much. Like, bro, bro. And then the fact that they 31-16, but they on a 5-game losing streak right now.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and then like, especially with them, is always a health problem with somebody. Somebody's always going around the time it's time to lock in and everything. Wow. Usually it's what's his name? Jaren. It's usually Jaren. But I won't say I'm buying just yet. I'm almost with the Bulls. You got to show me because y'all been talking way too much. Y'all been acting like y'all one of them teams that is one of those, and y'all not yet. Y'all got to prove it to me first. So at least, like I think I'll be able to tell if they make it to the third round. I'll be able to tell if I'm buying or selling by then. But
yeah, for me too. I if this makes any sense, let me know if this makes sense. I'm buying their chances of making it to the finals. I'm not buying their chances to win a title.
Oh, that makes absolute sense.
Because I absolutely think that they can come out of the West, but I'm not really buying their chances to win the title quite yet. But you never know. They are a team that absolutely can get hot. They play on both sides of the ball. They have players that give a lot of effort. But I don't know, man. I just worry that team, not to say that they're not tough, but if they face one of those defensive teams in the Eastern Conference in the finals, I don't know if they can kick up the defensive intensity enough to really match that right now. So
that and there's no real significant vet on their team either.
That's true.
If you always got to have that vet to like. That's why I feel like they lose those type of games, those close games, those games where they get smacked in the mouth. You lose those type of games where you don't have a vet that been through it and don't know how to talk to them. This is a very arrogant team. Like,
extremely.
They think everybody's gunning for them, which they are, but it's not gunning for you because you're the best team. They're gunning for you because you're talking like you're the best team. That's why.
Exactly.
So it's like, I don't know, man. They so weird, but they definitely have the talent, just like our team. We have the talent to do whatever we want. It's about doing it. And to me, the only reason I say I'm not buying just the lack of vets they have. If they had they had a Jay Crowder, Lord, them jokers would be serious. Like, they just need somebody. I feel like they don't have that person to go calm down. They don't. I feel, and they never really had that coach either. Their coach is a big. I won't say big, but here's a question mark. You don't know what he's going to do. He's been a solid coach, so.
Bro, the Memphis Grizzlies only have one player on their team above the age of 30. That's wild in the modern NBA.
And who is that?
That's Danny Green. Steven Adams is the next oldest. The fact that Steven Adams is only 29 years old is bananas, because I feel like he's been around forever. But the Memphis Grizzlies only have one player over the age of 30 on their roster. That's wild, bro.
I thought we was young. They just put us to shame.
That's crazy. I didn't even realize that till I was looking at their roster.
But that's also kind of impressive, though. If you really look at it, that's very impressive for sure. Yeah.
Next up, Denver Nuggets. You buying or selling their chance to win the title?
Oh, I'm big buying.
Yeah,
I'm big buying. I'm sorry. I'm a Jokic fan, and I just feel like he just one of the players that can will a championship out of some other team. The team don't have to be they absolute best, but if you got the right cohesive units around and you have that legit superstar and a superstar that can lift everybody up. See, that's the difference between having a superstar that's just a superstar and a superstar that can lift everybody up. He can lift everybody up, make them play on their level, play both sides of the ball, understand both sides of the ball. Yeah, it's just injuries. It's just injuries. Like, Michael Porter has to be healthy. Michael Porter, it's necessary for him to be healthy. He has to be healthy. If he's not healthy, they're not winning. That's all that I say. So minus any health, I'm buying for sure.
I'm completely and 100% buying, bro. Like you got Jokic almost averaging a triple double. He's 0.1 away from averaging a triple double on the season. And I do think that what their playoff struggles the last few years, I think that they are going to understand the intensity that they need to come into the postseason with, and I think that they're going to be a team, and they seem to be pacing themselves better this season. Before last couple of seasons, there was a team that just they were trying to win every game. I understand that, and they're really taking a better pace to 34-16 on the season. But I just look at the basketball and the brand of basketball they play, and as long as you have Jokic and everybody else is fairly healthy, that's a team that's going to be tough out for anyone. So I'm buying their chances to win a title this season.
Now I got a question for you though.
Okay.
Now they just lost Morris to where he go? Was it Detroit or no? It wasn't Detroit. But remember Morris? Like Morris was that. I noticed in the playoffs, Morris was that whenever they went flat or when they could get a bucket, he'll come right in, make a bucket. And Will is gone. They also traded Will gone. So how you still buying?
I'm still buying. I still like as long as Jokic, Murray, and Michael Porter Jr. are healthy, you throw in Aaron Gordon in that too. I think they got more than enough. Bones Highland also is developing to a nice role player for them. So and KCP's been pretty solid for them this season.
For sure. KCP is the definition of a pro. Yeah. He's one of those players, the definition of a pro.
Hasn't missed a game this season. He's played the most games for them. So yeah, listen.
And I also got to say this: I got to put Aaron Gordon in the most improved. In conversation. People are not talking about dude been hooping. Buddy been hooping. And people gotta give him his prop. He make it like Jokic can get the double doubles, triple doubles, but he make it so much easier for him. Just being there.
Aaron Gordon having the highest true shooting percentage of his career with 63%. He's also having one of the highest usage rates and one of the best efficiency seasons he's ever had. So yeah, he's putting. I think he's understanding his role and being in that role. And now that have the team for the most part fully healthy from the course of, over the course of the season, everybody's understanding what they need to do in their roles. And as long as they have relative health, they're going to execute that. They start running into the problem when they start having 2 and 3 players injured, and then you need a player like Aaron Gordon to take up more volume, and then he's not as efficient of a player. So yeah, exactly. I really like their chances, man. I like the Denver Nuggets a lot, and Jokic is one of those guys, man, that it's not always going to be the most exciting brand of basketball, but it's damn good basketball, bro.
Hey, well, to me, it's different for me and you because we love basketball, so it is exciting to me.
Yeah, for me, yeah.
I love seeing the footwork. I love seeing him processing plays that didn't happen yet. Like, that's just I love it. I love it. I love players like that.
Let's move on to the East. The Milwaukee Bucks, man, third team in the East right now, 32 wins on the season. You buying or selling their chances to win the title?
I'm half and half. I'm half and half. The only reason I'm half and half because I'm not gonna say they've taken a step back, but they have taken a slight step back, and it's only because of injury. That's the only reason. So like they just one of those teams that you know what you're gonna get with them. You know they always gonna be a contender if they're healthy. So as long as they're healthy, I say I'm buying.
You buying? That's fine. I'm buying for sure. Like they've been there. They've won the title before. You have one of the best players, if not the best player in basketball, in Giannis. I'm always going to buy it in those situations.
Always.
And they're just about everybody on that team. We talked about understanding your roles, and that's extremely important. I think sometimes people undervalue how important it is for players to know and execute their roles for a championship team. And every player on this team understands their role and they go out and do it at a high level. Yep. And I tell you what, I'm not betting against a team with freaking Giannis and Bobby Portis on it if they get to the finals, bro, because those two players alone are they refuse to let the team lose, man.
And their system is just built for it. It's built for the playoffs. It's those the scariest teams when they half court offense is just made for finals basketball. And like I said, one thing that not the greatest coach, I'm not gonna give him that, but Doc Rivers always said, "Be a star in your role." If everybody can't be a star, but be a star in your role, and every single person, I can honestly say with all my heart, on that Bucks team believes that they understand their role and they're gonna play their heart out every game.
Now, Chris Middleton has only played 10 games this season so far. How, if Chris Middleton isn't full go by the playoffs, and Bobby Portis is going to be missing 2 weeks too, does that change your opinion on if they could win?
Yes.
The title? Okay.
Absolutely. Especially if Bobby is not. Bobby is one of the most important players on that team, and people.
And
don't
it's
give
crazy
him
to
credit.
think that, bro.
He is though.
Yeah.
He very much is. And you need your sidekick to be healthy. You paying him way too much money, bro. You got without him, I don't think Giannis it's very easy to slow down Giannis. You can't stop him, but it's very easy to slow down Giannis when you don't have nobody else to worry about.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Next up, Philadelphia 76. I'm gonna start this one off, bro. Don't mean this to be a hater. I'm not buying the Sixers' chances to win the title, bro. I would have to. They would have to be up 3-2 and play the next game at home before I'm gonna buy them. Bro, there's something about the Sixers that they're a great team, and I love Embiid, and I understand what he can be, and I like a lot of players on that roster individually. But a team with James Harden playing a big role, I'm never gonna buy your chances in the playoffs, bro. Like that's
just said it.
That's it for me, and I know that's a bias. That's a bias that I can admit, but it's how I feel nonetheless, bro. I'm not buying a championship. They probably gonna have a great run, but I'm not buying the chances to win the title.
You just said my exact thoughts. Any team with Harden on it, I just don't believe in it. I just don't. I believe everything Joe can do. Joe is a superstar, MVP candidate, all the above. But he done already missed 12 games. He just got a story history of not being healthy. So with that team, it's not built I won't say the correct way. It's a solid team nonetheless. But I'm sorry, just James Harden there, I just don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't trust him. And if he's talented enough to win a championship, but it's all about mentality and playing the right brand of basketball. If he played the right brand of basketball, which we have never seen, then I will be 100% buying into it. But the fact that you never know, you gotta count your blessings and pray to God and think what game you're gonna get from James Harden. Then no, I don't care how good Joe is. Joe cannot, especially with him handling the rock. James Harden's handled the rock, being point guard. If he's not on the same page, which we seen the body language last year. Yeah. We seen Tyreke Maxey get sick and tired of James Harden,
bro.
Which I think would be starting. I don't care what y'all
for sure,
dude, a dog. But I don't know. Just the fact that it's Harden on that team, that's the only reason why I don't believe in it.
Yeah, bro. It
might be fun though.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch until you get in a tough playoff series and all of a sudden Harden forgets how to shoot, which happens every year, bro. Like
he forgets how to shoot and rough bases all the way there.
It was like that year that Dame hit that game-winning 3 to close that series. It took all the soul from Harden. He's never gotten it back fully, bro. He's never been the same player. That was his best season. He's never been the same player since then, bro.
Took all his soul, all his pride, and players like him aggravate me because it's like I sat there and watched you from Arizona State. You didn't always play like this.
Yeah.
You know how to play basketball. You're choosing to play like this because you know you can get away with it. You know that somebody gonna every time you go to them. Come on, bro. That's not going to win you a championship. You got to sit there and be honest with yourself. Do you want to win a championship? Because you're 32. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Yeah. You got to get it together. Got to get it together. The last team on the list before we go home, the Boston Celtics. I'm buying. I'm not even going. I shouldn't have to explain it. If you watch basketball, you understand why I'm buying it. That's it.
what Haize just said. If you're not buying it, don't let them losses fool you.
Exactly.
Do not let them losses fool you. They come to play. And they not I want to say they fully healthy. Yeah. That's the scary part.
Yeah.
Let them be fully healthy. I don't see no team stopping it.
Which is what they need to be focused on with Robert Williams. I get it, getting him in rhythm in the regular season. Just make sure he's healthy by the playoffs. And I think that they absolutely could win a title. I think they have the story of what usually happens with title contenders: getting there, failing. Let's re-up the next year. Let's see what we can do. They brought back primarily the same team. They brought in some pieces that they needed. That's worked out pretty well for them. And they have just a roster and a system that they play championship level basketball. And shout out to Joe Mazzulla too. Never even heard of the man's name before this season. Stepped in for Ime Udoka, and they have not missed a beat since, bro.
And man, Joe Mazzulla, if you pay attention to his game, dude can really coach. Yeah. Dude has the understanding. He really understands basketball. He don't let them, like our coach, get down by 10 and call a timeout. Exactly. He don't sit there. If Jaylen Brown is the high hand, he going to Jaylen. If Malcolm Brogdon come off the bench and he's hot, Malcolm's gonna stay in. That's what coaches does. And he understands the system he's running. He didn't change nothing. He didn't be like, oh, I want to run my system, and this system will work because I know if we do it just right, it will. No. He realizes the team he has, and he's running it correctly. And also another point, the reason I'm a big buyer is because of that Malcolm trade. Malcolm would be a big deal in the playoffs. Watch what I tell you.
Absolutely. And then I think one thing that goes unsaid, and I want to acknowledge, Marcus Smart has grown his game so much that I think people, because it's been slow and steady, and he's now this player that's a solid two-way player. Like people forget he came into the league and couldn't shoot a lick. He could not shoot the basketball, and so and he's been there his whole career. And he's truly a leader on that team. And I think that goes understated sometimes too. I know he throws some things and he's throwing some shots at Jaylen I'm catching on Tatum at times, but they responded to it, right? And it didn't turn into this huge inner team turmoil thing. Like Marcus Smart is really a calming factor for that team. And in the playoffs, he's going to be big. And now having Brogdon as well as another player that can step up, hit some shots when things do get difficult for him, is going to be huge for them in the playoffs, man.
Yeah, for sure. Marcus. And then, even coming into the league, I was skeptical as him being just a real point guard. He struggled. I won't say he struggled, but he wasn't always the greatest playmaker. Everybody was focused on shooting, but I'm like, okay, he's a big body. He's pretty athletic. But he could defend. So if we could just get that playmaking down, he could be a solid pro. The fact that he got the playmaking down and the shooting, and you're not lying about the leadership, because I was very worried when he called him out. I was like, oh Lord, he ain't the dude to do that. And they actually listened to him and took from it. That was one of the biggest things I noticed from him. I was like, yeah, he's grown as a legit. I feel like one of those players down the years, we're going to watch an interview, and a lot of people going to talk about him being very underrated as a player and a person.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be kind of like how recently Bobby Portis just talked about how important Joakim Noah was for his career. There are going to be a lot of players on that Boston team right now that years down the road are going to talk about some of the things they learned from Marcus Smart, and he's just put together a hell of a career, bro. I remember I used to always trade for him on 2K. That's just I used to always trade for him on 2K. It used to be easy to get. Now it's not so much, but contract. Man. Yeah. So before we go though, right now, and I know this can change over the season, what do you think is going to be the matchup in the finals?
I want to go. I either want to say Denver. I think Denver going to be there regardless. Okay. So I think Denver's coming out the West. I say Denver and Boston, or Denver and Bucks.
Okay. I'm going Milwaukee Bucks and Memphis Grizzlies. And I think the Bucks about to wax that ass in the finals, bro.
Hey, that's gonna be that'd be a very humble experience, because Malcolm and Mark. Lord. I just thought about.
That's gonna be a wild,
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one to watch too, because that's gonna be a real test of basketball right there.
For sure. And the X's and O's part of the game is gonna be lit, man. But that's it for today's episode, man. That's Stevo. You guys are gonna be seeing him around a lot more Give them your social media, Stevo, before we get up.
It's Stevo Speaks Everything. Everything you can find Instagram, Twitter is Stevo Speaks Everything.
I love the simplicity, bro. Like it's CEO Haize everywhere for me, and I hate when people are like, "Oh, well, this is mine on Twitter. This is mine on." Why is it different? Just make it the same everywhere. Keep it simple. I'm also old, so that's what it is for me.
Maybe I got an old soul, so maybe that's where it come from. I feel like I've been born in the wrong generation every day, so who knows?
Fair enough. You guys can follow the show at NBA Central Pod on Twitter. You can also send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. If you want to leave a text message and a voicemail, 773-270-2799. Be locked in and tuned in, man. But that's it from us for today.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.